ladies and gentlemen, when you look at this chart, this is the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to have a bigger, younger population, and the elderly population should be a lot smaller. And this is how it is for the US Black population. So, as you can see, you got the elderly on the very top, but you see a much bigger, younger population. So, as those elderly people die out, you got plenty of young people that will replace them. And this is the norm. So, for our population in the US, it is the norm for real. So let's take a look at this story from Pew Research Center. Facts about the US Black population. The Black population in the United States is growing. In 2022, there was an estimated 47.9 million people who self identified as Black, making up 14.4% of the population. So I guess we're not 13% of the population anymore. Y'all sure beat a dead horse on that one. And I really believe we're higher than 14.4%. But let's move on. Of the country's population, this marks a 32% increase since 2000. Now, I did talk about that in another video. But this one has a lot of different information, and you'll see as we go along. So, the nation's Black population, those who say their race is Black, either alone or in combination with other racial backgrounds. It also includes Hispanics or Latinos who say their race is Black. So, they're talking about the Afro Latinos. This fact sheet is a profile of the demographic, geographic, and economic characteristics of the US Black population in 2022. So it represents four different groups. The US Black population, they're talking about the total number of the population, the single race, non Hispanic Black people, the multiracial, non Hispanic Black people. That can be someone with a white parent and a Black parent, or an Asian parent and a Black parent, or Black Hispanic people. So, the population growth we all know about, we grew 32% within 2 decades, which is very rapid. That is a rapid increase. I don't care what anybody say. So in 2022, there were 5.1 million foreign born Black Americans, about 11% of the US population. This is an increase from 2000 when there were 2.4 million people, or 7%. So the age structure, here's the age structure. You're looking at it right here. It's a pyramid. So you see the 85 plus at the top, and you see the under 5 at the very bottom. And your younger population should always outnumber your elderly population. So this would be the norm regardless of what country you're in. This would be normal. You should not have a big elderly population and hardly no young people. And that's how some of these other groups are in this country. That's not normal. So, just under half of the US Black population, 45%, was younger than 30 in 2022. A similar share of 43% was between 30 and 64 years old. So, again, that's the way it should be. So, fertility, general fertility rates among Black females is between the ages of 15 to 44, which was 6.1% back in 2022, meaning that 6.1% of females in this group had given birth in the previous, I'm sorry, the previous 12 months. So the languages spoken, of course, primarily English, but they said that in our population, there's also Spanish among our population, the US Black population, French or Haitian Creole. And they also include Ethiopian languages as well. Regionally, the highest concentration, so I'm going to put that up on the screen so you can see that. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the breakdown of where our people are populated in this country. And you know what? I was actually a little surprised, and not by the Northeast and the South, but the West and the Midwest. I don't know. I just always thought it was more of us in the West than the Midwest, but that's not really the case. So in the Northeast, 17% of our people live in the Northeast, 17% in the Midwest, 56% in the South, which we know, because of slavery and a lot of the descendants of slavery never left the South and never moved elsewhere. So, yes, it would make sense that the biggest population would be there. And then out west, 10%. I'm really surprised. Like I said, I just thought more of us would be west and Midwest, but that's not the case. But you do have Chicago, you have Detroit. So, yeah, so you have Memphis, Tennessee in the South, and then you got South, the Carolinas, which a lot of our people live, Florida, definitely, Texas, Louisiana. So, yeah, I mean, but this is where the Black population live throughout the country. So let's get into it. Let's move on. So, regionally, the highest concentration of Black people in the US in 2022 is in the South. More than half, 56%, live there. Another 17% live in the Midwest and Northeast, and 10% live in the West. When it comes down to states of residence, Texas is home to the largest Black population at about 4.2 million. Florida comes in a close second with 3.9 million. Georgia comes in third with 3.7 million. Interesting. Very interesting. Among metropolitan areas, I'm going to put that up on the screen for you. Okay. So when it comes down to metropolitan areas, these are the cities. Where are we the most populated? And you know what? I actually agree with the first one because I'm around those states. So this is New York, Newark, New Jersey, Jersey City, and also PA, which means the city of Philadelphia. That's where I was born. So these areas have the largest Black population in a metropolitan area with 3.6 million of us. And that accounts for 7% of the Black population. Yes. Now, the second is Atlanta, Sandy Springs, and Roswell, Georgia, with 2.2 million of our people, which accounts for 5% of the Black population in the US. So you also now have Chicago, Naperville, Elgin. All right. So that's Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin with 1.7 million, 3% of the Black population. And then fourth is Washington, Arlington, Alexandria, DC, Virginia, Maryland, and West Virginia. 3% of the population at 1.6 million. All right. Then you have Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, Texas, with 1.3 million, 3% of the US Black population. Philadelphia, Camden, Wilmington, PA, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, with 1.3 million, 3% of the population. And then we have Houston, the Woodlands, Sugarland, Texas, with 1.2 million, 3% of the population. And then you have Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach in Florida, 1.2 million, 3% of the Black population. And you have Detroit, Warren, Dearborn, Michigan, with 970,000, 2% of the Black population. And number 10, Los Angeles, Long Beach, Anaheim, California, with 930,000, and that accounts for 2% of the total Black population in the US. This was interesting because when you look at this, as far as metropolitan areas, is the biggest in the Northeast. And I don't know, I guess I wasn't expecting to see that. I thought the southern cities would rank at number one. And this is shocking to me. But you may look at it and it may not phase you at all. It may look normal to you. Okay. So among Black US households in 2022, 49% earned less than 50,000 a year, while 51% made 50,000 or more. A third of Black households, 34%, earned 75,000 a year, and more than including 22% within our population made $100,000 or more. And actually, when I look at this, it don't look as dire as these people try to claim it is for us. So anyway, the types of households, the types of households. And this was another thing that was shocking, but expected. There are more Black married couples than single family homes. And let me put this up on the screen because all this time they tried to claim there are more single family homes than married couples within our community. And y'all, I'm not surprised that it's this way because we get lied to about everything. And unfortunately, we got way too many people within our groups that are more than willing to repeat the lies. So let me put this one up on the screen for you. Okay, so let's get into the households among the Black community. Okay, we get lied to about a lot of things, y'all. And, many of us will see it for what it is. But unfortunately, I can tell you right now, when I go over this, we're going to have people among our group that will try to argue you that no, this ain't right. See, they go along with whatever the white supremacists say about our people. And unfortunately, we got too many like that in our group. But let's go on. The type of households in the US Black community. About 4 in 10 Black people in the US, 39%, live in households that are headed by married couples as of 2022. Roughly 3 in 10 Black people, 31%, live in households who head is a female, and 5% live in male headed households. Fewer than 2 in 10, 16%, are part of a non family household. So the bulk of the households in the Black community are married. Single fathers, single mothers, single fathers, single mothers. And they say this to us, y'all, is if these things don't exist in their groups. Trust me, it does. And they'll sit in your face and lie and tell you things like, well, we don't have as many. Yes, they do. Go look at the census of how many single mothers are raising children in the white community, and you're going to see many. You're going to see many. Look at how many single mothers are raising children in the Hispanic community. You're going to see many. But the only one they always focus on in this country, out of pure racism, is us. Okay. Now, when it comes down to education, we're actually in college more than them folks. They are. I mean, they're not in college as much as we are. So let's get into this. About a quarter, 26% of all Black US adults 25 or older have a bachelor's degree. 26, sorry, let me do that again. 26% of all Black US adults ages 25 or older have a bachelor's degree or more. As of 2022, another third, 32%, have completed some college without obtaining a degree. Roughly 4 in 10, 42%, at most graduated from high school or got a GED. Now, you may think this is awful, but actually, when you go look, it's better than some of these other groups. But they have made a concerted effort to keep us at the bottom. Us being at the bottom is not a natural phenomenon. That's why they got to keep their eye on you all the time, because even they know it's not natural. So, religious affiliation, and this is truly sad, 2/3, 66% of all Black adults identify as Protestant. Roughly 1 in 5, 21%, are religiously unaffiliated, while smaller shares of adults identify as Catholic. So 6% of US Black Americans identify as Catholic. With other Christian denominations, 3%, and non Christian faiths, 3%. Mm-mm-mm. So, y'all, this was definitely an interesting study that the Pew Research put out. And I like how it gave a lot more detail Then the other article I did about a month ago on how we increased 32% in the last 2 decades. Yeah, I can see why you would want to contain that information for real. Especially if you're part of another group. You don't want that out. You want us to believe that we haven't grown since we've been here. Ain't nobody going to believe that. You can keep saying it all you want, but nobody's believing you. So, y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.